The evolution of leadership in the Malankara Church, from Archdeacons to Mar Thoma Metropolitans. The Malankara Church, rooted in the St. Thomas Christian tradition of Kerala, India, represents a vibrant thread in the tapestry of global Christianity, traditionally tracing its origins to the missionary work of St. Thomas the Apostle in AD 52. The Church has navigated centuries of cultural, ecclesiastical, and colonial influences. Central to its history is the evolution of its leadership, notably the transition from the title of Archdeacon to Mar Thoma in 1653, marking a pivotal assertion of indigenous authority. This historical article explores the origins, development, and significance of the Malankara Metropolitans, focusing on the shift from archdeacons to the Mar Thoma title, the role of Mar Thoma I, and the enduring legacy of this leadership structure. Historical context: the St. Thomas Christians and early leadership. The St. Thomas Christians, also known as the Nasranis, formed a distinct Christian community in Kerala, maintaining ties with the Church of the East in Persia. Their early leadership structure was dual. Foreign metropolitan bishops, often sent from Persia, held episcopal authority, while native archdeacons managed local ecclesiastical and temporal affairs. The archdeacon, derived from the Greek archidiakonos, senior deacon, was a hereditary role, typically held by members of prominent families like the Pakalomatum. This figure acted as the community's de facto leader, especially when foreign bishops were absent due to logistical or political challenges. By the 15th century, the Church of the East's influence waned, leaving the archdeacon as the primary authority. Notable archdeacons, such as George Pakalomatum in 1502, managed the community's affairs under intermittent oversight from bishops like Mar Jacob D.D. 1552 and Mar Abraham D. late 16th century. The archdeacon's role was multifaceted, encompassing spiritual leadership, community governance, and diplomacy with local rulers. The arrival of Portuguese colonial powers in the 16th century disrupted this structure. Through their Padroado system, the Portuguese sought to align the St. Thomas Christians with the Latin Catholic Church. The Synod of Diemper 1599 formalized this shift, placing the community under the Archbishop of Goa and later Jesuit bishops. Despite these changes, the archdeacon remained a symbol of indigenous identity, with figures like Archdeacon George D. 1637 and Archdeacon Thomas maintaining local leadership. The Coonan Cross Oath and the rise of Mar Thoma I. The turning point in the Malankara Church's leadership came in 1653 with the Coonan Cross Oath, a defining act of resistance against Portuguese domination. Tensions had escalated due to the Latinization of liturgy and the rumored murder of Syrian Bishop Ahatala in 1652. On January 3, 1653, approximately 25,000 St. Thomas Christians, led by Archdeacon Thomas, gathered at Matanchery near Cochin. Facing Portuguese cannons, they relocated to the Church of Our Lady, where they tied ropes to a granite cross and swore, "We and our children shall never be under Rome." This oath, Coonan Kurishu Satyam, marked a decisive break from Roman Catholic authority. Archdeacon Thomas, born Parambil Thoma Kathanar in the early 17th century, was a scion of the Pakalomatum family. Appointed archdeacon in 1640 following the death of Archdeacon George, he was under 30, reflecting his early prominence. On May 22, 1653, 12 priests ordained him as bishop at St. Mary's Church, Alangad, proclaiming him Mar Thoma I, the first indigenous metropolitan of the Malankara Church. This ordination, while a bold assertion of autonomy, was controversial as it lacked a consecrating bishop, leading some like Bishop Palivetil Chandi to question its legitimacy. In 1665, Mar Gregorius of Jerusalem, associated with the Jacobite Patriarchate of Antioch, arrived in Kerala and consecrated Mar Thoma I on February 22nd, restoring episcopal continuity. This event aligned the Malankara Church with West Syrian traditions, renaming it the Syrian Church of Malabar. The consecration, performed using the Malankara throne at Pulathin Tiruvala, solidified Mar Thoma III's position and marked the formal adoption of the Mar Thoma title derived from St. Thomas the Apostle, known as Mar Thoma in Syriac, meaning Lord Thomas. The title Mar Thoma, Origins and Development. The title Mar Thoma is deeply rooted in the Malankara Church's apostolic heritage. Mar, meaning Lord or Saint in Syriac, and Thoma, for Thomas reflects the Church's Eastern Christian identity. While the term historically referred to St. Thomas, its use for church leaders began in 1653, symbolizing a return to indigenous traditions. The title was consistently applied to metropolitans from Mar Thoma I 1653-1670 to Mar Thoma I 1816, establishing a clear line of succession. In the 19th century, some metropolitans adopted the title Mar Dionysios, reflecting closer ties with the Syrian Orthodox Church. For example, Mar Thoma I 1765-1808, also known as Mar Dionysius I after reconsecration in 1770, and subsequent leaders like Mar Dionysius II 1816 and Mar Dionysius IV 1825-1855 used this title. This shift likely stemmed from ecclesiastical alignments with Antioch, where Dionysius was a common patriarchal name. The 20th century saw further evolution with the institution of the Catholicos of the East in 1912 to counter Syriac patriarchal interference. Leaders like Baselios Paulose Dintao, 1912-1913, and Baselios Mar Thoma Matthews III, 2021-present, have held the dual title of Catholicos and Malankara Metropolitan, reflecting the Church's autocephalous status within the Malankara Orthodox Syrian Church. Leadership timeline: Archdeacons to Metropolitans. To illustrate the transition, the following timeline summarizes key leadership roles. 4th, 15th century Archdeacons. Role: native ecclesiastical heads managing local affairs under East Syrian bishops. Notable figures: Archdeacon George Pakalamatam, 1502. Context: hereditary role, often from the Pakalamatam family with significant temporal authority. 1599, 1653, Archdeacons under Jesuit bishops. Role: indigenous leaders resisting Latinization post-Synod of Diamper. Notable figures: Archdeacon George D. 1637, Archdeacon Thomas, later Mar Thoma I. Context: Portuguese dominance, with archdeacons maintaining local influence. 1653, 1816, Mar Thoma Metropolitans. Role: indigenous bishops asserting autonomy post-Coonan Cross Oath. Key figures: Mar Thoma I, 1653, 1670, Mar Thoma VI, 1765, 1808, also Mar Dionysius I. Context: shift to West Syrian liturgy, formal consecration in 1665. 1816, 1855, Mar Dionysius period. Role: metropolitans using Mar Dionysius title reflecting Syrian Orthodox influence. Key figures: Mar Dionysius II, 1816, Mar Dionysius IV, 1825-1855. Context: ecclesiastical tensions and British colonial influence. 1889, present, Mar Thoma and Catholicos. Role: distinct leadership in Mar Thoma Syrian Church and Malankara Orthodox Syrian Church. Key figures: Titus the Mar Thoma, 1894-1909, Baselios Mar Thoma Matthews III, 2021 present. Context: formal denominational splits, autocephaly, and modern governance. Significance and legacy. The transition from Archdeacon to Mar Thoma was not merely a change in nomenclature, but a profound assertion of indigenous identity and ecclesiastical autonomy. The Coonan Cross Oath and Mar Thoma's leadership established the Malankara Church as a distinct entity, free from foreign domination. The 1665 consecration by Mar Gregorius ensured continuity with Eastern Christian traditions, influencing liturgy and governance. Mar Thoma embodies the Church's apostolic foundation, linking modern metropolitans to St. Thomas. Despite the 19th century Mar Dionysius variation, its persistence reflects the community's commitment to its heritage. The establishment of the Catholicate in 1912 further strengthened indigenous leadership with the Malankara Orthodox Syrian Church. Mar Thoma I's legacy is evident in the Church's growth to over 1,200 parishes across multiple dioceses, its contributions to education and social welfare, and its ecumenical engagement, including membership in the World Council of Churches. The Malankara throne, used since 1665, symbolizes unbroken apostolic succession, a testament to the enduring impact of this leadership evolution. Conclusion. The history of the Malankara Metropolitans reflects a dynamic interplay of faith, culture, and resistance. From the archdeacons who led the Thomas Christians through centuries of foreign oversight to the Mar Thoma Metropolitans who asserted indigenous authority in 1653, the Church's leadership has been a cornerstone of its identity. Mar Thoma I has a pivotal role in the Coonan Cross Oath, and his 1665 consecration laid the foundation for a distinct Malankara Church, while the title Mar Thoma continues to embody its apostolic heritage. Through schisms, reforms, and modern challenges, the Malankara Church remains a vibrant testament to the enduring legacy of its metropolitans.